Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm going to be making a video on the new set images that we have just gotten, basically showing the iconic Hayden Panettiere on the set for Scream 6. We have just got our first picture and our first look of Hayden Panettiere on the set of Scream 6. We got this I think it was not that, I think it was like yesterday, but yeah, we got this picture here with Jasmine Savoy, and whenever I saw this picture, I had so many questions because I was just thinking, why did it take so long for, you know, us to see a picture of Hayden Panettiere on the set of Scream 6? I was like, is she not, is she not in the film? Because also, you guys remember that Hayden Panettiere wasn't on the she wasn't even in Canada at one point. Like she wasn't even in Canada, and we were just questioning is she even in Scream 6? And it was the same for Courtney Cox. Like we were like, is Courtney Cox in Scream 6? Because we saw her I think it was last month or whatnot. We saw Courtney Cox in London, and we were like, wait, isn't she supposed to be filming for Scream 6? Like, is she not in the movie or something? But, I feel you know, even though we don't see, the actors on the set as much, because, I doubt that, every picture of these actors from, every filming session that these directors are doing, I doubt that someone is just gonna take a picture every time and just leak it on the internet, you know? So I feel like it makes sense that we're not gonna just constantly see pictures of, these actors, on the set for Scream 6. I think it makes sense. But Jasmine Savoy is with Hayden Panettiere, and it seems that, Hayden Panettiere is getting her makeover or whatever, and she's reading a book here. You also have other pictures of her on the set as well. Um, it's right here. We have her on the set for Scream 6. She's in the college campus and is literally you know, on the actual set. I just can't believe it because I was just so excited whenever I first saw that she was actually on the set for real now, and I was just I was just so happy and shocked and just everything. But yeah, I'm happy to see Hayden back. We have her on the college campus, which it makes me wonder, is she gonna be a, because we all been speculating for a while now that what if Kirby is the professor of of Mindy, Chad, and Tara, and she's working at the college as a professor. We were all speculating that. So, and now that we see Hayden, you know, she and Kirby, she's playing Kirby, and Kirby's on the college campus. We see Kirby on the college campus for Scream 6. Why else would Kirby be on the college campus if she's not a professor or anything like that? I feel to me it only makes sense in my opinion. I I feel she's either a professor or she's doing an interview with Gail or another news station. I feel that's probably the case here. But yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think that it's just fun to speculate to see, what the possibilities for, certain characters and what they're gonna do and what they're gonna play and all this stuff. It's just fun to speculate. And, you know, we also see another picture of her, she's here, um, And I see this van here, and I'm just wondering, like, why is there a van there? You know, because at first I didn't think anything of it, but here's when I kind of get into like the real speculation and theories, because you know I've heard some people saying that, like, what if like Mindy or Chad died, because we actually do see Mason Gooding, like right here in this picture. He's like under the tree and he's like sitting down. We do see Mason Gooding here, but and I think we saw Jasmine Savoy on the college campus as well. And yeah, and the thing is that we didn't see Mason Gooding on the set that much compared to Jasmine Savoy, Courtney Cox, Sam, Tara, like all these other characters and like actors. We we saw them. We saw basically almost all of them, and we saw like multiple pictures of them and whatnot. And like Mason Gooding, we haven't seen him that much on the set. Where's Chad at? Like a lot of us, I'm sure we're starting to think like, where is Chad gonna play a big part? Which this I'm sure he is. I'm pretty sure all it is that like it's just that they're filming scenes, and probably certain scenes that they're filming are in that are like inside the indoor filming sets, because as I'm sure most of like they're literally filming a lot of scenes inside this like building, and inside that building they're like building sets, and they're filming in those sets. So that's probably why we haven't seen Mason Gooding and a whole bunch of other people as much, because they're probably filming a lot of indoor scenes on those sets, and that's why we're not really seeing anybody that much. So that's just what I'm speculating. But a lot of people, I've seen some people say that, like, what if Chad dies, because we haven't seen that many pictures of like him on the set. Like we haven't seen Mason Gooding as Chad on the set as much. So like, what if he dies? And there's also the van right here in the background that I was about to get to. I also like was thinking like, what if Chad or Mindy die inside that van, and Kirby goes and sees the dead body in the van, and everyone's just there and whatnot. Like what if they're pulling like a Randy 2.0 and whatnot, and like Mindy or Chad get like pulled into the van and one of them dies. Which honestly, I've kind of been speculating myself that maybe Mindy or Chad die. Like I feel like one of them is probably gonna die, and I feel like it just makes sense, because we first of all we already have so many characters in Scream Six that I feel like there's just no way that they're gonna, the core four that we have right now. There's no way they're all making it out. Like I do believe Sam and Tara are gonna make it out alive, but with Mindy and Chad, I feel like either one of them could die. To be honest, like there's just there's all types of chances of them dying, and that's just my opinion. But yeah, I feel like Mindy or Chad, one of them's a goner. One of them is for sure dead, and I feel like it makes sense, and because like with how many characters we already have in Scream Six, that you would imagine that a lot of the characters that we, a lot of the new people that we've gotten first introduced for Scream Six, we I'm sure most of us already know that half of them are gonna die. And with the core four, Sam, Tara, Mindy, and Chad, one of them is gonna die as well. And I very well just feel like it makes sense that Mindy or Chad are gonna, one of them is gonna die. Um, but who do I necessarily think is gonna be between Mindy and Chad? Now, I think that is also an interesting question. In terms of because I feel like with Mindy and Chad, I've seen like a lot of mixed opinions when it came to like who do people think is gonna die, Mindy or Chad, and a lot of people said Mindy, and then other people said Chad. And me personally, I think Chad is gonna die. The reason I think Chad is gonna die is because I feel like they're gonna try to like subvert expectations because a lot of us already expect for like for like Mindy to die because she's more of the Randy type character, right? And I've seen this argument like many times where like people would say like, "Oh, but now we have Kirby, so what if they just kill Mindy and they keep Kirby because she's more of the fan favorite and she's she's she can be like the new horror buff and whatnot." But I just feel like, well, first of all, I just what if there's because you also have to ask this question: what if Kirby isn't even a horror fan anymore? You know, like people are saying like, oh, like we have Mindy. I mean, we have Kirby. She's the horror buff. We don't need Mindy. But the thing is, how do we know Kirby still even likes horror movies anymore? Especially after everything she's been through, you know, with in terms of all the things that she's been through in Scream 4 and all that what happened to her. I mean, she almost got killed and I'm sure all that tragedy that happened with her made her probably like not even want to see horror movies anymore. Maybe it brought some type of, trauma to her to even want to watch horror movies anymore because of what she went through. But also, Kirby is also like 29, 30 years old. She's like way older now compared to how she was in Scream 4. She's not a she's a full grown adult now. And throughout the years people change. Not everyone's just going to be the same. Like I'm not saying that just because you get older that you're going to change completely of who you are, but I'm just saying that you know typically when a lot of people they get older, you lose interest in certain things. And you might not be the same of who you are 10 years from now. So it's like I feel like with Kirby, I feel like there's a high chance that she's not even into horror movies anymore. She's like she probably doesn't even care about them. So, you know, people people who say that like oh like Kirby's the horror buff and we have her now, so we can just kill Mindy. Like, but it's like how do like I said, how do we even know she even likes horror movies anymore? Like you also got to think about that. And the thing with me also is that I don't necessarily feel that way neither. Because I feel like I like both Kirby and Mindy. Of course, I like Kirby better just because I felt her character was like, it was more, you know, she was more of a like fleshed out character. And I just really enjoyed her character. But I do like Mindy as well. So that's why I'm not going to sit here, and trash on Mindy and hope she dies just because we have Kirby now. Like, no, like, I like both Mindy and Kirby. So, and if Kirby is into horror movies, we could have like a scene where like they're both, talking about horror movies. I think that would be awesome and cool. But yeah, like how do like I said, I feel like with Mindy and Kirby, they both are great characters. And I personally liked Mindy more than Chad. And you know, I'm not saying just because I like Mindy more than Chad that I think Chad should just die. But I just think that it makes more sense because I feel like they're going to try to subvert expectations And because a lot of us already expect for Mindy to die, because Randy died in Scream 2 in the sequel. So a lot of us are probably like expecting for Mindy to die since she's the Randy type character. But I feel like they're gonna subvert expectations. This is just my opinion. I feel like they're gonna subvert expectations and they're gonna kill Chad instead. And Chad is probably he probably who knows this van that we see right here. He probably gets dragged into it and he gets killed. And then Kirby goes to that van and sees his dead body and like there's like a whole bunch of news reporters like and whatnot and a whole bunch of scuffle over it and people see the dead body of Chad. I feel like that's probably what's gonna happen. I feel like Chad he's probably a goner if I'm being honest. But you know, am I saying I want Chad to die? No. I like Chad's character. And the thing is, I know a lot of people they didn't like, a lot of the characters from Scream 5 because they either they found them annoying or they just felt like they didn't get fleshed out enough, and get enough screen time for you to care about them. Which, like I said, I understand that and I agree, but I still like Mindy and Chad. I still for who they were and what we got of them. I like their character, and I'm honestly excited to see them in Scream 6, and hope they get you know even more character development. I think it's just cool to see them back, and you know I'm not saying like I want Chad to die, but I just think that it's a possibility that he's most likely gonna die instead of Mindy. But that's just my opinion, though. Let me know what you guys think, because I don't know. But yeah, and I even I saw Killjoy Jake's video on it on this Kirby news as well with Hayden Panettiere on the set for Scream 6, and he was like covering um these images, and I read the title like he said Hayden Panettiere Hayden Panettiere on set for Scream 6, and and then it said, "Well, Kirby died." Like that's what it said in his title, and then I watched the video and he was talking about like the chances of like Kirby dying and how he thinks Kirby's gonna die. Me personally, I don't think that's gonna happen. And it's not because I like Kirby and I don't want her to die, but me personally, I just don't see it happening. I just feel like with Kirby, she she's gonna be like more of the mentor type character. She's gonna be like to like the new characters like Mindy, Chad, Sam, Tara. She's gonna be like a mentor to them. She's gonna help them and guide them. This is just my opinion. Like I said, it's all speculation. We all everyone is entitled to their own opinions, but I feel like she's gonna be like some type of mentor and some type of like she's gonna help out Mindy, Chad, Tara, and Sam with the Ghostface killers, and she's gonna be like a guide to them. And I feel like, especially now that Sydney is not gonna be in Scream 6, I feel like more chances are they're gonna keep Kirby alive because they're gonna want her to be more of like a leading role type of character. I'm not saying she's gonna be the main final girl or the main character because obviously Sam and Tara are like the main final girls and characters. But I do think that Kirby will probably. I feel like she's most likely gonna have like a bigger role for Scream 6, and more chances are that she's not gonna die, and they're gonna want to keep her more at the forefront. But that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people think she's gonna die because like they killed, and I've seen this argument many times, like because they killed Judy from Scream 4, or they killed, you know, Dewey. And I see where people are coming from with that argument. I understand that. And like they did come back and they just got killed. But the thing is that I felt with Dewey, and I said it many times. I felt at this point he needed to die. It was already the fifth movie. They didn't just kill him just because for the sake of it. They killed him because, you know, they wanted to show that nobody is safe. And I felt like it also portrayed a good purpose for it because, it got Sydney and Gale to come back and, avenge, Dewey's death. And they went after the Ghostface killers and killed them and defeated them. That's I felt like, seeing that now, in my opinion, I like that, and I think it's cool, and it's and it was I appreciate, that Radio Silence, they had the courage and, and whatnot to even kill Dewey because, a lot of, you know I'm sure a lot of people, you know were probably like, because like, who knows, maybe, um if it was someone else, you know maybe if this was like a different team who was making this movie, they probably wouldn't have killed Dewey because they probably would have been scared of the backlash from it. But, you know, I can, appreciate, um and, the fact that, Radio Silence, they weren't scared and they weren't afraid of the backlash. They did a ballsy move and they went with it, you know? So I know a lot of people, they feel different. They felt Dewey should have never died. They don't care that it was the fifth movie. He should have still survived and all this. Like I said, I respect your opinion, but me personally, I just don't see it that way. I just felt like Dewey, he had to die. It would have got so repetitive seeing the main three just survive every freaking movie. And it just, like, it would have been, like, so repetitive. Very repetitive. And this is why people in the first place are even scared of certain characters dying in Scream Six because of the fact that Dewey's death raised the stakes for people and made people afraid. And I think that's a good thing because it makes people wonder, like, who's gonna die in Scream Six now because they killed Dewey? Like, anyone, all bets are off. And I felt like having that type of fear is a good thing because, you know, it brings a lot of question and mystery of, like, what certain characters are gonna die or not. You know, it was the same with Randy in Scream 2. After Randy died, a lot of people were like, you know, they were like scared of, like, at this point because they were like, all bets are off. Anyone can die. And, after Dewey had gotten that fake out death in Scream 2, a lot of people thought that he died for real at that point. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, Randy and now Dewey." And then, Gale got shot at the end of Scream 2 as well. And a lot of people were just like, "Oh my gosh, like, now Gale," but, you get the point. Like, it raised stakes after Randy died because a lot of people were scared that all bets were off at that point. And even Randy said in Scream 3 in the videotape that, you know, all bets are off. Anyone can die, you know? So I think it's just fun to have that fear and mystery of, like, oh my gosh, who's gonna die? Who's gonna die? That's just me. Some people see it negatively and they say that, oh no, like, after they killed Dewey, I don't wanna. I feel like they're just gonna kill Kirby or Gale because they're just Radio Silence are just they're bad people and they don't know how to make Scream movies. They're terrible writers and they're just gonna make dumb decisions. Like, I just don't. And I've seen people who have that thought and they share those feelings. And, me personally, I just disagree. I just don't like just I just don't see I don't see it that way. Like, I don't see them killing a favorite character in a negative way to where, like, now any other character that is a favorite, they're just gonna kill them off just for the sake of it. Like I don't see it that way, like how other people do, or like how I've seen some people say. You know, I see it as a good thing because it brings a lot of mystery and fear. Like who's gonna die, who's gonna survive. Like it just brings that excitement to it. It raised stakes, like Amber said. we we had to kill Dewey to raise the stakes. So yeah, that's just my opinion though. And same with Judy. A lot of people will try to use the argument of like, oh no, they're gonna kill Kirby just because Judy died in Scream 4. But the thing is that Judy, like Judy was not as an important of a character compared to Kirby. Like you can't honestly tell me that, you know, more people are excited to see were you can't honestly tell me that people were more excited to see Judy than Kirby. Like you can't honestly tell me that. Like a lot of people are way more excited right now that we're gonna see Kirby back in Scream 6 compared to Judy in Scream 5. That's just a fact. And I feel like that's why it's just different with Judy because like, I've seen like even Killjoy Jake and, a few other people and I've seen it everywhere. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, after they killed, like they just wasted Judy. They killed her off, and she was just like a nothing character, and they just brought her back just to kill her off. And so with Kirby now they're gonna kill her as well because Judy died. But it's like they're two different characters, and it's like I feel like it's just two different things. Like with Kirby, she's more of a fan favorite, and she's more of a character we that they can develop more into compared to someone like Judy. Like Judy is not a character that a lot of people would even want to see get developed as much. Like, don't get me wrong. Would I have liked to see Judy more in Scream 5? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I don't really care. Like, I just feel like either way, I wouldn't have mind either way. But, Judy was not that much of an important character that you really had to just dive deep into and, like, explain, you know, her life and all this stuff. Like, she's just not that character that a lot of people would even care about as much to dive into compared to someone like Kirby. With Kirby, I feel like they're probably going to just try to dive more into her character and everything that happened from Scream 4 to Scream 6. And they're going to try to, give more backstory to her character and, just develop her character more. And I I feel like that's most likely what they're going to do. That's why when I see this argument like, oh, like Judy died and Dewey died and, certain other characters died, so all bets are off with Kirby. Like, I bet Kirby's going to die now. But it's like, I just don't see that being the case. I just feel like it's just there is completely different characters that you're comparing Kirby to, and I just feel like with Kirby, there's just more to her character that we can get into. So I just feel like I feel like she's just not gonna die, especially like I said after Sydney, you know, not being in Scream 6 and Ev confirming that she's not gonna be in Scream 6 and all this stuff. Um, like I feel like now there's more of a chance that Kirby is not going to die compared to before. And I've even seen Fate decide to say the same thing. Like, he said that because for months he was saying that he thinks Kirby's going to die. And so Nev said that she's not going to be in Scream 6. He said that he changed his mind, that he thinks Kirby's going to survive because now that Sydney is not there and there's no one to lean back on. Now there's more of a chance of like Kirby surviving because they're gonna want to have like more of a main, not main final girl, but like more of a final girl character that they're gonna want to keep that is a fan favorite now that they don't have Sydney anymore. And I agree with Fate on that. And I agree, with that in general. Like I think that that's definitely the case. Like I feel like now that Sydney's not in Scream Six, like there's more of a chance of her surviving than before. Whenever we did not even know that Sydney wasn't going to be in Scream Six, and we were just speculating that there's a chance that she's going to die because they're going to want to raise stakes. But now that Sydney's not there anymore, I feel like there there's just no way that they can afford to make that mistake. You know, you know, with as Nev, aka Sydney, not being in Scream Six. I just feel like that's just not going to be the case. Um, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I know everyone thinks differently. I've seen people say differently. I get it. I respect everyone's opinion, but me personally, I just don't see Kirby dying. If you think Kirby's gonna die, that's fine. I respect your opinion, but I just don't see that being the case. And I also think that they're they're probably gonna do flashback scenes with Kirby as well. Showing how she survived. I talked about it before, like on the first video that we had gotten confirmed. I think of that Hayden Panettiere was coming back for as Kirby for Scream Six. I had talked about like they're probably gonna do a flashback scene, you know, with Kirby showing how she survived, and I think that would be cool. Honestly, I think that would be awesome. Just showing how she survived from Scream Forward and all that and whatnot, and like showing how her life was from then and now, and showing just the events of her life throughout all these years and whatnot. And I just think it would be cool, like I said, to get into and dive into with her character. I think there's just more to her character that we're gonna see that we probably know or don't already know or speculating. I just feel like there's more to her character. And yeah, I think we're probably gonna get a flashback scene. And I just think it just makes sense that it would make sense, that we would have a flashback scene showing how she survived and the events of her life throughout the years, and and where she's at now. Like I just think that's most likely what's gonna happen. But you know, I've seen because I saw like I saw Killjoy Jake's video on, like I said, I was watching his video on this topic that I'm talking about in this video with Kirby on, in the Scream 6 pictures and whatnot. And, in his video, he was talking about how he thinks it would be pointless for, you know, for them to like do a flashback scene of like showing how Kirby survived and whatnot. And like, and, I, and like, showing how she survived and what happened after she got attacked. He said that he thinks it would be pointless to see that. But me personally, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it would be awesome to see that. I just think it would be cool to see, like, you know, just to see how she survived, and just the flashback scene of that in general would just be awesome. It would be a great introduction to her character. But I could have misinterpreted what he said in that video. I could have. I'm not too sure, but you know, I just think in general, I think it would just be cool to see, and you know, maybe we even get like a flashback of Jill. Like maybe Kirby has a flashback of Charlie and Jill, and you know, just her thinking back of how her best friend and the person that she liked betrayed her. You know, I just think it would be cool, like if they showed a flashback of Charlie and Jill, or like some type of nightmare suite sequence of her. having a nightmare about that, of like about her getting attacked by Charlie and finding out that Jill's the killer. Like I just think it would be such a cool thing to dive into and see, and it would just be overall just fun and cool to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, about all this. Like, I kind of been rambling and all this stuff, but let me know what you guys think about all this news. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know um, if you guys enjoyed this video. Like, like I said, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I say it every video, but you know, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications so that way you get notified whenever I post new videos. I'll always be posting, every time news comes out. So stay tuned for that, guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.